Here's an old tourism ad featuring my friend Mark Stothard. Mark passed away in 2004. He was a very dear friend to me and many other people. He just embodied everything about a artistic trout bum. Mark lived on New York's Oak Orchard Creek back in the real glory days of their salmon and steelhead runs. Mark was known for amazing feats of skill and cunning in the woods and on the river and in his studio and at the fly tying desk. One of Mark's big contributions to the world of Great Lakes tributary fishing was the carpet fly. You use it to imitate a cluster of eggs on spawning fish. For a size 8 hook, you're going to want 10 strands. This is regular Red Heart brand knitting thread. And here's the color scheme that Mark devised. You'll use 3 strands of gold, 2 strands of pink, and 1 light pink and 1 dark pink. You'll use 2 strands of yellow, 1 pale yellow and 1 darker yellow, 1 strand of white, 1 strand of this brownish tan, and 1 strand of hunter safety orange. So you're best off setting yourself up to production tie carpet flies because you're going to go through a lot of them. Mark would get out his skeins of knitting yarn and wind them up on a coffee can like this so it'd be all ready to go whenever he did a session of tying. You're going to want a Daiichi 1530. That's a regular wet fly hook. It has a fairly heavy wire on it. You're going to want that for the bigger fish. Now, when I tie these for shops, they usually ask me for size 10 and 12 hooks because it's sort of fashionable to use small flies these days, but personally, number 8 is my favorite hook for day in and day out tributary fishing. When I'm fishing for Chinook salmon, I'll go up to a number 6. Like any other egg fly, you're going to want to use this Kevlar thread. To get the material to flare, you want to pull your wraps very, very tight, and Kevlar won't break on you the way that a regular thread would. The stuff is rather pricey though. So you begin by covering the shank with thread. Keeps the material from slipping. And you park the thread right about there. Now when you tie in our hank of yarn, Mark was always very particular when he tied for the fly shops that the hunter safety orange always went on top. So you gather up your hank real tightly like this, pinch it along the shank, and you give it 3 wraps. 1, 2, 3, and you keep the yarn on top of the hook shank. You pull really tight and you anchor it by giving it 3 wraps onto just the shank. Then you take all the yarn and pull it straight up, and you give it 3 wraps around the base of your yarn. 1, 2, 3. And you pull that really tight. And you anchor it by giving it 3 wraps on the shank. And then you whip finish. This is the beauty of it, how you get very little waste, is that this end goes to our coffee can. And you pull everything straight up with a sharp pair of Fiskars style dressmaker's scissors. You give it just 1 snip. And the art with this is that if you cut too close to the hook shank, you're going to cut your Kevlar. And if you cut too far away, you'll have this great big pom-pom. So you want to get it nice and tight and compact. And you trim it all off with 1 snip. And Mark showed me how, after you make your snip, you lick your fingertips and just kind of fluff it up like that. You'll have a nice round egg fly with the Hunter Safety orange dot on top. Another beautiful thing about the carpet fly is not only will it catch you a whole lot of fish, but the yarn will make you a great lucky fishing cap.